Hey guys, it's Mother's Day, Sunday. I wanted to talk about floods because here in Texas we have just flooding everywhere. I mean, the whole southern state pretty much feels like it's flooding. Anyway, so homeowners insurance does not cover flood. And so you have to have flood insurance specifically. And how you know you need flood insurance is water from the bottom up. If it's from the top down, including in a hurricane, that is covered by homeowners insurance, unless you've got some kind of exclusion on your policy. But flood insurance can be sold by FEMA. It can be NFIP. It could be write your own. So that could be like an Allstate or a State Farm or Nationwide or something like that. But they're all subsidized by the federal government. And if FEMA or NFIP is doing it, usually the adjusters, it's just been my experience, because I work floods too, usually the adjusters are coming out, they're looking at it, they're writing it up. So if it's gone, they write it up. If it needs to come out, they probably need you to supplement. They can't take it out, again, like the water claims, they need you to take it out and then have your contractor write up why it was taken out with proof and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, on the write your own, which would be the Allstates or the State Farm or Nationwide, an actual insurance company, not NFIP or FEMA, it's their money first. So even though they're going to get reimbursed by the federal government, it's their money first. I don't know how long it takes for them to get reimbursed, but keep that in mind because they might not be exactly the same. And I'm not saying don't buy from them. I'm just saying their adjusting might not be exactly the same. But FEMA has a manual on how all of these things work. You can just Google it, the FEMA flood guidelines, and it pretty much sets it all out, and it does not change. It is the way it is. The coverages are max $250 for dwelling, $250,000 for dwelling, and $100,000 for personal property. But personal property is written as an actual cash value. And I had spoken about what's the difference between actual cash value and cost replacement value, and that is, replacement cost value, and that is one gets depreciated, one doesn't. So on FEMA or on your flood insurance, when you're writing up your personal property, you want to make sure if you think you have at least $100,000 worth of stuff, don't write 100 because then your adjuster is going to depreciate it all, and you might see 70,000. So what you really need to do, chances are you have more than 100,000. If you were affected by a flood, it was probably your whole entire house. Sometimes people just have a portion of it, but if it's your whole entire house, it's everything on the first floor. If it's legitimate, and I'm not telling you to not write it legitimate, but if it's legitimate, write it. It needs to be about 150,000. So be fair. Don't think you're just trying to get to the $100,000 number and you're good. The other thing I wanted to point out is the best thing to do is to buy the full policy, the 350. So the 250,000 for dwelling, 100,000 for personal property. And the reason is because if you're underinsured, FEMA, NFIP, write your own flood insurance, they may not owe you a penny. And it's because you're supposed to be within 80%. So if you said, oh, I'm just going to get a little bit, I'm just going to get 50,000, and your damage is more than 80% of that, then you're not going to see any money because that's on you. So what you you can't go wrong with buying the full policy of 250,000 and 100,000 for personal property. I don't know what the difference would be, but if you're going to get it, don't like I say, don't half-ass it. Sorry, but don't just go about it for money savings. If it's required, you got to get it. But if it's not required and you're just going to go get it, go ahead and get the max, 250,000 on dwelling and 100,000 on personal property. Stay safe and be prepared.